Say it, suck, 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 suck.
Yeah, we got it sounding like.
Hey, what is up, Subduck fam? This is Internet Hokage coming at you with a how-to video for animating your crypto subducks. If that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned to see how to get those pixels moving. Before we get started, there are some prerequisites that we'll want to make sure we have covered. For starters, you'll need an iPad with Procreate installed. An Apple Pencil is also highly recommended just for those small details. You'll be able to make them a lot easier with that. Next, you'll need the pixel brushes imported to your instance of Procreate. This is just so you know you have the different sizes, like a 1 pixel, 5x pixel, or 7 pixel, things like that. Next is patience. This is going to be the biggest prerequisite that you need to have for this. It can take upwards of an hour or more, just depending on the level of detail. If you've chosen to animate more traits than like maybe a previous one you've done, etc. So yeah, definitely keep that patience so that your animations come out as crispy as possible. Alright, so step 1, PNG your duck. To animate your duck, you'll need to extract it by removing the background. There's many ways to do this. Paint 3D's Magic Select tool is going to be one of the fastest methods. Adobe Photoshop has something similar with their Magic Wand. It doesn't necessarily always work, but it is the fastest, so definitely recommend trying that way first. If you can't get that to go, manual erasing is always a reliable go-to. It's a lot slower, but like I said, it's definitely reliable. Lastly, there's always so many other ways that you can do this. If you have any other applications that you've used in the past that remove backgrounds fairly easy, then I suggest going that route just to kind of speed that part of the process for you. Step 2, parts. A key element to animating is creating layers of each moving part by itself. So what that means is essentially you'll just want to, now that you've got your duck out of the background, you want to basically make different layers of the same duck, but with certain portions present. So like you'll have one layer where it's just the head, then you'll have one layer where it's just from the neck down. Then you also maybe want to have certain layers where it's maybe just the pants on the head because you want to animate the trait. So that's essentially just something you have to take into account whenever you're doing your animations, like what pieces you want to animate. If you're only trying to move the body and the head, like do the bounce, then you just need those 2 pieces. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and take the pants as well. Step 3, time to animate. I like to start with animating from the neck down part. This layer will be behind the rest of the parts and also acts as a metronome for the rest of the animation. So, once you got the bounce going up and down, essentially that's the rhythm that you're gonna want for the rest of your pieces. So, once you start throwing the layer in with the head, then you're gonna be wanting to follow that bounce with the head. And then the next layer, once you throw in, add in the pants, the animation. So you'll see in this one, like we do the head first, bouncing with it, and then after we got the head movement, then we start throwing the next layer with the pant leg, and on and the cuff on the other side being able to move a little bit in the animation. Then lastly into adding the layer with the eyes where we'll have the blinking and the pupil moving. And so for all these different layers that were mentioned, you always just want to make sure, like in this case we have the bounce where it's a 2-part bounce, so it goes down then up, down then up. You wouldn't want to have animations that had anything that couldn't be split across the even number of 2. So like you could do something with 4 moving pieces, because then it could get stretched across 2 iterations of the down up bounce. Or if you did 8 animations like for the blink, then it could get stretched across 4 of the iterations of the down up movement, and so on and so forth. Last but not least, step 4, background. The last step to animating your duck is getting its background in every frame. So once you did in the previous step, the animating, you'll have a bunch of different layers for each frame of the animation. Essentially what you'll want to do is just get that original background color and just slap that behind each one of those ducks per frame, just to essentially give it that static background with the animating duck on top of it. And we're here, finished results. Check out these animated crypto subducks, full of life, ready to bounce as your Discord PFP or any platform that supports the .gif as your PFP. I hope you all learned some cool tips here to get you further in your journey in animating these pixels, and if so, please sub this video with that like button, as well as subscribe if you're not already for more sick Web3 media, as well as some more educational content from the pond. Sup.
Say it. Sup, 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 sup.
Yeah, we got it sounding like.